Hey, welcome to Life After Nursing School. I'm your host, Caroline Dana, aka Nurse Coach Caroline, and I'm here to help you, the new nurse, thrive in your career. As a former nurse recruiter, nurse manager, and now your personal new nurse career coach, I'm obsessed with making sure you don't just survive your first couple of years at the bedside. I want you to absolutely rock them. From the challenges to the triumphs, I'll be right here with you, giving you the real-world advice and support that you need to shine. Whether you're in nursing school getting ready for life after, or you're already out there in nurse life feeling overwhelmed or even questioning your confidence, I've got your back. I'll be sharing tips, tricks, resources, and strategies that are just for you. We'll dive into everything from landing that dream nursing job to slaying imposter syndrome, and most importantly, how to keep that spark alive and stay the vibrant and amazing nurse that you are. So if you're ready to tackle the things nursing school did not cover, like how to build a career, trust yourself, and keep your passion strong, then get comfortable because we are about to dive in and make nurse life the best life. In this episode, we're diving into 3 practical ways that you can take control of your nursing career. But before we jump in, I'd be so grateful if you took a moment to rate and review the show. Your feedback truly means the world to me. Reading your reviews not only motivates me to keep going, but it also reminds me that this podcast is making a difference, that it's actually reaching people that need it. So thank you in advance for being a part of that. Okay, from my own experience, I found that burnout crept in when my entire identity became wrapped up in being a nurse. Over time, my career started to infiltrate every corner of my life. It consumed my free time, and eventually I forgot what I even enjoyed outside of work. Somewhere along the way, I lost touch with myself. And this is something that I want to talk about and really prompted this episode. Now, me losing myself really came into focus when I became a mother. Suddenly, my career took a back seat to what I loved most, my children. However, it did take me a few years and a few kids to realize that the version of success that I was chasing in my nursing career wasn't even aligned with what I truly wanted. That might sound wild, okay? How does someone pour years into a path, go back to school, earn a master's degree, and devote so much time, energy, and money only to discover that this wasn't even what they really wanted? I still don't have a clear answer for how I got there, but I did. I remember when I was in my MSN program, writing papers and submitting discussion posts from my hospital bed after giving birth to my daughter. And then again, same thing, submitting discussion posts, writing papers from my hospital bed 15 months later after giving birth to my son. Just saying that out loud makes me cringe. How the heck did my career creep into my life so much that I was submitting assignments shortly after giving birth? That is so wild to me and clearly highlights that I had all of my priorities backwards. But I was truly caught up in the narrative that's so common in our profession. And that is nurses are lifelong learners, and that success means going back to school and climbing the ladder, whether or not that's what you truly want to do. So here I am telling you that you do not have to go back to school to chase your dreams. And if you think right now that you want to go back to school to chase a professional goal or dream, my advice for you is to do these 3 things first. Taking control of your career will give you clarity on what you actually want in your professional and personal life. And if you want to further your education, then so be it. And you can rest assured that you are on the right path that is for you. And you're not going to be wasting time, energy, money like me and many others have. Okay, so let's dive in. The first way to take control of your nursing career is to become financially stable. Just because you make a nursing paycheck doesn't mean that you should spend it all. I also do want to emphasize that I am not a financial expert, nor do I claim to be. But let me share a few things with you that have helped me and have opened my eyes to other ways of earning money. When I first came out of nursing school, I had accumulated a total of around $50,000 in various student loan debt, and I also had a monthly car payment. I also moved directly out of my parents' house and into an apartment alone, and I actually bought my dog Finnegan at that time. By the way, he is sleeping in his cozy dog bed at my feet as we speak. So, as you can see, I had plenty of debt and monthly living costs right out of school. Early in my new grad days, I realized, wow, I can easily blow my entire paycheck on frivolous things if I wasn't careful and intentional with my money. So I sat down and created a budget and a savings plan to help me pay off my car and my student loans. I read a few Dave Ramsey books and did the snowball debt method. And I know Dave Ramsey might not be for you, but I just want to share what I did over a decade ago. So here is how the snowball debt method works. You start by listing all of your debts on paper or in a computer document. You list from the smallest balance to the largest. Don't worry about interest rates for now. You then make minimum payments on all of your debt except for the smallest debt. And instead, with the smallest debt, you throw any extra money that you can at the smallest one until it's gone. Once the smallest debt is paid off, you take that amount that you were putting towards it and you roll it into the next smallest debt. And this creates the snowball effect. This method isn't about math. It's actually more so about momentum. Paying off those smaller debts quickly builds confidence and motivation to keep going, which is often the key to sticking with your financial goals. You can also organize your debt by interest rates and focusing on paying the debt with the highest interest rate off first before snowballing to the next debt. But I found paying off smaller loans gave me a quick win feel and kept me motivated. There are various strategies on how to create a budget and pay off debt in a way that works for you. So do some research and come up with a plan that you feel like you can stick to. When you cut down your debts and increase your savings, you will feel lighter and in control of your career. You don't need to pick up extra shifts every week if your money situation is stable, right? You don't need to live at work. You can enjoy your time outside of work and even protect that time outside of work. Another financial move that actually opened my eyes to freedom and freedom from my career is real estate investing and passive income. During the pandemic, my husband was deployed with the military and I was working full time as an assistant nurse manager and then transitioned to a nurse manager role. And we were actually able to save a lot of money relatively quickly. And as you know, the world was shut down. We weren't eating out. I wasn't shopping for new clothes because I had nowhere to even wear them to. There were no events happening or functions or get togethers. And when my husband returned from his deployment, we decided to buy a property with our savings and list it on Airbnb. This has proven to be a great investment financially. About a year and a half ago, I quit my job as a travel nurse recruiter and I actually didn't have a job lined up. I've never done that ever in my over decade of experience working as a nurse. I've never quit a job without having another one lined up or at least another one in the works. But this time, I actually went months without a job because I just wasn't sure what my next best career move was. I fully believe that I would not have been able to do this if we didn't have financial stability or additional passive income to help me bridge the gap of unemployment. Now, you don't need to buy a property in real estate to make additional income. You can also invest in the stock market. The average annual return on investing in the stock market is anywhere from 7 to 10%. Let's just say that you invest $1,000. At the year mark, you will have $1,070 if the market increases by 7% that year. And the next year, it'll be close to 1150, and it will continue to compound and grow without you having to invest any more money. Of course, the more that you invest, the more it will grow, and the longer you leave it in, the more you will have. Investing, whether it is real estate or stock market, can be unpredictable and it can be risky, okay? There is risk involved, but there are ways to mitigate your risk. And I think the most important thing that you can do is to do your own research and decide what method you feel the most comfortable with. I plan to have some money experts on this show so that you can start to explore investing in financial opportunities that will help you feel more empowered when it comes from a financial standpoint. Having a financial plan to help you gain financial stability will prevent you from living paycheck to paycheck. When we feel strapped with money, we often feel tethered to whatever it is that's making us money. And in this case, it would be your nursing job. We may be inclined to pick up extra shifts often, which will lead us to burnout and also allow our career to slowly consume more and more of our free time. Now, that actually brings me to my next tip for staying in control of your nursing career, and that is don't let being a nurse become your entire identity. Early in my career, I found myself telling people I was a nurse within minutes of meeting them. I was incredibly proud. I mean, after all, I've dreamt of being a nurse since the sixth grade, and I had finally made it. But over time, I realized that constantly leading with my profession started to minimize the other important roles in my life. I'm not just a nurse, I'm also a wife, a mother, a friend, an avid runner, and so much more. Yet slowly, the title RN began to overshadow those other parts of me. It became the most important thing that I associated with my identity. And in doing so, I started to lose sight of who I was before I became a nurse. The passions and relationships that shaped me took a back seat, and I realized I had to reclaim that balance. The scary part is that I didn't even realize it was happening until it was too late. Until I was submitting those assignments while in the maternity unit after giving birth to my oldest two children. So, to protect who you truly are and honor all parts of you, I encourage you to prioritize your hobbies, your relationships, and your life outside of nursing. Take a moment to reflect on what genuinely brings you joy. Maybe it's working out, reading, hiking, traveling, or spending time outdoors on beach days or camping trips. Perhaps you enjoy creative outlets like drawing, painting, or playing music. Or maybe it's something as simple and grounding as slow mornings snuggled up with your dog. Whatever it is, recognize these activities for what they are: your hobbies, your passions, the things that recharge you and remind you of who you are outside of your scrubs. I want to make this clear. These are not extras in our life. They are actually essentials. Make time for them, protect them, prioritize them. Let's take a moment to talk about the importance of having a hobby. It might sound like a small thing, but hobbies play a huge role in our overall well being. They give our minds a break from the daily grind, helping to relieve stress and prevent burnout, especially in high demand professions like nursing. Hobbies allow us to reconnect with ourselves, to feel joy, to grow, and to learn something new just for the fun of it. They boost our confidence, spark creativity, and give us something to look forward to outside of work and responsibilities. And they remind us that we are more than our careers. We are full, dynamic people with interests, passions, and talents. Whether it's painting, running, gardening, or playing music, having a hobby adds depth and meaning to your life. And for many of us, hobbies also create opportunities for social connection, whether it's joining a club, attending a class, or simply sharing your passion with others. So if you've been putting off that creative project or telling yourself that you don't have time for hobbies, this is your reminder: make the time. You honestly deserve it. One of my favorite hobbies, which you probably know by now if you've listened to a few podcasts, is to run. And I won't bore you with the details, as I know many of you that are listening might not be runners and you're probably rolling your eyes right now. But I will say I have the best ideas when I'm on a long run. It is my chance to sort of mute the noise of the outside world and let the energetic juices flow. And then bam, all of a sudden I get a bright idea. I am quite sure that similar energetic juices flow for you when you are in your element or doing something that you enjoy. So, how do we incorporate the activities that we love into our busy daily life? Well, we need to simply schedule them. There is a commonly used phrase that says, if it's not scheduled, it won't happen. And that is often the case. Our busy day to day life creeps in, and then all of a sudden, the day, week, or month is over, and we never did that thing that we wanted to do. I want to emphasize that the things that we care about don't happen by accident. They happen because we make time for them. When your nursing schedule comes out, I want you to immediately pencil in your hobbies and passions and things that bring you joy into your calendar. Do you love to get a massage or spend time at a local bookstore, or maybe you enjoy happy hour with friends? Pencil it into your calendar. Be intentional with your time, and the more that we can balance life outside of work with the demands of our work, we will live a fulfilling life and hopefully avoid burnout. If we can schedule our hobbies and the things we enjoy, we are protecting that time for something that is not nursing. So when work calls and asks if you can come in for a shift tomorrow, you will look at your schedule or your calendar and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I already have something planned." Because you will, and it is something important, and it's for your well being. When we are not intentional with time and prioritize things that make us happy, we easily fill up that space with other things. And those other things often are work. This is how work slowly infiltrates our life and burnout sneaks up on you. When we protect our time outside of being a nurse and fill it with things that bring us joy, we are now in control of our career and our life. We can decide if we actually want to pick up an extra shift because we want to versus feeling obligated to do so. I cannot emphasize how important it is to not solely identify as a nurse, but instead identify as a combination of things like a gardening enthusiast, avid runner, happy hour fanatic, whatever that looks like for you. So far, we have discussed the importance of feeling financially stable and being intentional with our time outside of nursing. The last tip that I want to share with you to help you stay in control and remain in the driver's seat of our career rather than our career driving us is to identify limiting beliefs and societal norms that have planted roots in our subconscious. Limiting beliefs are the things that we've been telling ourselves over time and now believe. And societal norms are concepts and ideas that others or our society have been telling us to believe. These are ideas, concepts, or expectations that we've developed along the way and may have been introduced from our nursing program, preceptors we've had in clinical, family members, role models, or even the media. So let's talk about limiting beliefs first. Limiting beliefs are the quiet stories that we tell ourselves that quietly but powerfully hold us back. They sound like, "I'm not smart enough, I'll never be a leader," or "people like me don't get to do things like that." Most of the time, we don't even realize that we're carrying them. They just operate in the background, influencing our choices and shaping our identity. To identify your own limiting beliefs, start by listening to your self talk, noticing where you feel stuck, and asking yourself, is this really true? Or is it something that I've just believed for a long time? Recognizing a limiting belief is the first step to replacing it with something more empowering. Now let's shift to societal norms. Societal norms are the invisible rules we've absorbed from the world around us. Rules about what success looks like, what's acceptable, and even who we're allowed to be. You don't usually question them until something inside you feels out of alignment. Maybe you're following a path that looks perfect on paper but feels off. Or maybe you've internalized ideas like, "I need to climb the career ladder to prove I'm enough," or "I should be further along by now." Both of those I can very much relate to. That tension that you may feel, though, that's often a sign that you're living by someone else's definition of success. Identifying societal norms is the first step in deciding which ones that you want to keep and which ones that you are ready to let go of. Once we can identify that we are telling ourselves a narrative that is holding us back from reaching our potential, aka limiting belief, and once we can identify that maybe we have fallen into the trap of a societal norm, is when we can finally start to investigate what it is we truly want in life. At this point, I encourage you to check in with yourself frequently. Reflect on what you like about your current nursing position and also what you don't like. Determine what your professional goals really are, and also don't forget to think about your non professional goals too. Those are just as important. So often we feel stuck or unsure because we've never actually given ourselves permission to ask, what do I really want? Not what others expect, not what looks good on paper, but what feels aligned for me. Gaining clarity isn't about having a perfect 5-year plan. It's about tuning into your values, your energy, and your truth. So, how do we identify or tune into our values, our unique energy, and our truth? Well, you can start by journaling, visualizing your ideal life, or even just noticing what lights you up versus what drains you. And remember, clarity doesn't always come at once. It builds slowly through reflection, honesty, and small aligned actions. I remember once that I journaled what my ideal day would look like, and that was so eye-opening to me because it actually was quite achievable, what I really wanted my day-to-day life to look like. But it also helped me eliminate a lot of the other things that I thought I would need every day or want to do every day. So take some time to really truly visualize what you want your overall life to look like. What does one day look like that you want to live? What does 1 month look like? What does a year look like? All right, friend. So let's recap what we've covered today. Taking control of your nursing career doesn't mean having it all figured out overnight. It means taking intentional steps that move you closer to the life and career that you actually want. We talked about the power of financial stability, the importance of reclaiming your identity outside of nursing, and the freedom that comes from identifying and breaking free from limiting beliefs and societal expectations. These aren't just career tips, they're life strategies. And the beauty of it is you get to decide what success looks like for you. Not your nursing program director, not your peers, not your preceptor, you. If this episode spoke to you, I would be grateful if you took a moment to rate and review the show. As you know, your feedback truly means the world to me, and it lets me know that these conversations are landing with the people who need them the most. And if you have a friend, classmate, or coworker who's feeling stuck or overwhelmed in their nursing journey, please share this episode with them. Let's keep building a community that supports, uplifts, and empowers nurses to take back control of their lives and on their own terms. Thank you so much for listening today. I am cheering you on and can't wait to connect with you again in the next episode. As always, I have one hand for me and the other for you. Signing off. Well, that's it for today's episode of Life After Nursing School. I hope you feel more confident and ready to tackle the challenges that come with starting your nursing career. Remember, the first year or two might not be easy, but with the right mindset, you can overcome anything. If you found value in today's episode, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a future episode. Also, please consider leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform. It helps so much in reaching other new nurses like you. Thanks for listening, and remember, you've got this. Take care and see you next time.